Well, hello everyone, back to Silverstone International for the second day of the BRSCC finals weekend. We've got some more fantastic racing for you to feast your eyes on. We had a great day yesterday. We saw championships already settled in the Downforce Radio MX5 Clubman Championship. We also saw the champion crowned in the Fiesta ST150 Championships. Now today we're going to see even more champions crowned. We're going to see some great racing from the cars coming in behind me in the SW Motorsports Club Sport Trophy. The Modified Ford Series are here for two mega races on an absolute capacity grid of their flame-spitting machines, and we've also got the City Car Cup sorting out their championship battle with the Student Challenge. It's going to be a great day of racing. We've got lots of MX5 racing to come. We've got the Fiesta 240s to conclude their day's racing as well. It's going to be an action-packed day of sorts. So make sure you make yourself a cup of tea, get yourself a plate of biscuits and sit yourself in front of the live stream. It's going to be a great day. It's time to hand up to my colleague in the commentary box, Scott Woodward. He is going to take you through the first race of the day and see the runners and riders.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lewis, as always. Yes, good morning, everybody. It's day 2 for BRSCC Silverstone Finals weekend, where more provisional champions are going to be crowned. As we said at the beginning of yesterday's broadcast, the one thing you're going to be hearing a lot is either provisional or champion-elect, mainly because all the championships have to be checked in terms of cars doing post-season scrutineering checks. Points have to be checked as well to make sure everything is as it should be. But we will at the very least be wrapping up a few more championships this weekend, including 2 more of the BRSCC's ever popular Mazda MX-5 series, the Gazshocks Mazda MX-5 Championship and the Clapham North Mazda MX-5 Super Cup. We'll also see the conclusion to the AirTech Motorsport Fiesta ST240 Championship, as well as, of course, as Rob mentioned, both of the Mini Championships, one of which is coming up right now, the Mini Miglias, the Mini 7s also on top of that, and appearing just for today, we have got also the SW Motorsport Club Sport Trophy that's just finished qualifying. We also have the Modified Ford Series with a grid that has to be seen to be believed. It is a wonderful variety and a stacked grid full of cars. It is full capacity plus reserves. Really is a great sight when I saw it down in Park Firm in assembly area earlier on this morning. And also the Nankang Tyre City Car Cup and Student Motorsport Challenge, both of which are all going to finish up this weekend today as well. So in terms of racing action, we're getting underway very shortly with the final race of the regular season for the Dunlop Mini Challenge, supported by Mini Spares Miglia and Libras. And looking at yesterday's result, it was Craig Edgecombe who took a victory for the Libra category. It's a reverse grid for both categories, which means Ashley Davis starts on pole position for the race number 2, with Mark Sims alongside him. Then it's Lee Roberts and Alex Osborne on row 2, followed by Rob Howard and current 7S champion-elect Jonathan Page in his first weekend in Mini Milias. But it's Damien Harrington and Phil Bullen-Brown who was the winner in the category yesterday in Milia's, second overall. But it's James Colburn and Sean King, followed by Kieran McDonald and Tony LeMay. James Cuthbertson and Steve Yule come next on the 7th row, and of Nick Padley, and then a few of the front runners from yesterday who were eliminated in a first lap incident, sadly, and that saw Kane Aston, Ben Colburn, who was on pole yesterday, and Rupert Death all out of the race at Stowe Corner. They're also ahead of Colin Peacock, who retired with mechanical issues. Then there's a row back, and we go to Julian Proctor, who's had some issues all weekend, but he starts on reverse grid Libra pole alongside Philip Harvey. Then it's Ben Norfolk and Gary Warburton ahead of Richard Colburn and Josh Evans. And then watch out for Craig Edgecombe, who won the race outright. What can he do from quite literally the back row of the grid ahead of Les Stanton in essentially 30th place on the grid in car 133. So in terms of the results yesterday, it's essentially the top 8 that's been reversed from both of those categories. And to remind you, it was Craig Edgecombe who took the victory yesterday by 2.5 seconds from Phil Bullen-Brown, who was the Miglia winner from Damien Harrington and Jonathan Page. Jonathan certainly transferring all of his skill from the 7S category across into the Mini Milias. So he managed to pick up 3rd in Milias ahead of Rob Howard and Alex Osborne. What was a very interesting element was that the fact that we had Kane Aston, Ben Colburn and Rupert Death all eliminated on the first lap at Stowe, because there was an incident which mainly involved Ben Colburn getting out of control on the run towards Stowe Corner, running across the grass. He then tagged Kane Aston and Rupert Death, and all 3 of them were out sadly on the spot. They're going to have to try and work their way through from the back of the Miglia grid, and also keep an eye on Craig Edgecombe, of course, as I mentioned, overall winner yesterday, runaway Libra winner, first time appearing in the championship with that brand new build, and certainly putting it to good use. So watch from him effectively from the back of the entire grid, not just the Libras as well. So coming into this weekend, the Mini Miglia title is already settled because Aaron Scott is provisional champion, and he is already, Aaron Smith, I should say, is already provisional champion. The Libra category is still to be decided, but the Mini Miglia title is already sorted, hence Aaron Smith with Jonathan Page essentially, or swapped series. So Jonathan making his debut this weekend in the Milias, whereas in the 7s, it is of course Aaron Smith either heading back to his roots or getting into that series for the first time. So the cars make their way on towards the grid. You can see in 2x2 formation. These are the faster of the two minis out on the grid. And the Mini 7 Racing Club, I think you'll agree, no matter where they go, they're also always quite good to see. Mark Sims is, I think, parked up a little bit too prematurely on his grid spot. He's usually going over your grid spot, but he's not even in it, so he's going to be a bit far back from where he is. You might get a little bit of a helping guidance to just come a little bit further forward. Yep, you can see Ash Morton telling him to, well, he said to him to, I see, so he's wanted to actually, Ash asked him to move forward, but then Mark was actually saying, no, I need a better view of the lights in front of me. So that's the reason why he's starting a bit further back. It's different if he was starting in front of his grid spot and over it, but since he's starting quite far back, he's not actually past it. So even though it might seem like a disadvantage, he's actually trying to get a better view of the light so he can possibly get a better start and beat Ashley Davis off the line. Ashley Davis and Kieran McDonald had to start from the back of the grid yesterday due to changing tyres and qualifying, which means that they now get a chance to redeem themselves, particularly Ashley Davis from pole position. As the rest of the field makes its way through. One car to watch out for in the Libras there. I think actually you can watch in their Edgecombe, the bright blue Mini just at the back of the field there. That's the car that won overall yesterday and was runaway Libra category winner too. So keep an eye on him as well. 20 minutes of Mini Miglia action underway. This is the final race of the regular season. This is also the second weekend of the winter series for the Miglias. And with the green flag at the back, we're all set for the first race of finals Sunday here at Silverstone to wrap up another championship. The Dunlop Mini Miglias and Mini Libras all set for their final race of the regular season. Red lights on, red lights off any second now, and we're mini racing. And ironically, Mark Sims doesn't get a great start despite starting far back in his grid spot. The Minis, the Libras and the Miglias off together, and they head down towards turn 1 for the first time. It's a strong start for Ashley Davis. He turns into Abbey Corner first. It's Lee Roberts in second, and then it's Alex Osborne in third in the green and purple Minis. They turn in, and also watch out for that very fast bright blue Mini of the Craig Edgecombe, because he will be charging his way up the order and hopefully trying to pick a victory. Also, keep an eye for the three cars that are coming through from deep in the Miglia field, that being Kane Aston, Rupert Death and Ben Colburn. Rupert Death's car is number 23 in black, Kane Aston is grey and fluorescent yellow, and also watch out for Ben Colburn, whose car is red and green. They're just right in the mix of the pack. I can see out of the three of them, Kane Aston's made the better start. He's already ahead of Rob Howard and Phil Brown, so a rapid start from the former multiple champion, Kane Aston, but now down towards Stowe Corner for the first time. Ashley Davis away and gone at the front of the field. It's now second place for Lee Roberts, but they're going to go three abreast already. They're at it again for the Mini Miglias, diving up the inside. Actually, I thought it was Rupert Death for a second, but it's not. It's Jonathan Page who's gone to fourth position. So despite the reverse grid, Jonathan Page, the 7S champion-elect, is certainly taking to these Mini Miglia cars like a genuine duck to water. Oh, that was Kane Aston getting squeezed around by a couple of the cars around him. One I think was 88 to Kieran McDonald. It was in the Mini Spares sponsored car. Kane Aston in grey and fluorescent yellow, sitting side by side with the 25 James Colburn. Out to the final corner they go, and end of lap number 1. It's 1.6 seconds already out in front. Ashley Davis as he charges down towards onto lap 2. And side by side for more moves. And there you can see Craig Edgecombe in that blue Mini Libra car, already picking his way through the rest of the Mini Mysteries contenders, and then starting to work on the tail end of the Mini 7s, Miglias, as they come through towards the complex for the second time. So Alex Osborne up to second place in green and purple. It's now John Page in third place. And up to fourth now, I think, is Sean King, who crossed the line in fifth position. Yes, there's Sean in the pale blue Mini. Roberts down to fifth. And as for the three cars starting towards the back, well, there's Rupert Death boxed in with Rob Howard, and just a couple of cars ahead is Ben Colburn, but he's having a great scrap with the 25 car, and that is with James Colburn in there too. So the Colburn family certainly having a bit of a family affair towards the rear of the top 10 and backwards. Here comes Jonathan Page to the inside for second place in towards Stowe Corner. Nice easy move up the inside to take P2, and Sean King tries to go with him, but Osborne shuts the door as they turn in out of the right-hander and down the straight towards the Vale and Club complex for the second time. And Kane Aston is not hanging around it. He's already up the inside of Roberts, looking up the inside of almost everyone. At the very least, he'll get Roberts trying to peek his nose up the inside of Sean King whilst he's at it. As for Death, there is Rupert battling with Damien Harrington and Rob Howard, but he's quite the far back across the line. When he came across the line, he was in 14th last time. He's going to be around about, I think, in 12th, because he's ahead of Ben Colburn now and also Rob Howard. But he's 11th, in fact. He's got past also James Cuthbertson on top of that too. And as for Colin Peacock, he's into 16th place at this point. Whilst the other driver, Kane Aston, of course, up into 4th and setting the fastest lap of the race. So he's certainly getting a move on at this point. So into the complex now for the third time. You can see that Ashley Davis is pulling away here. So he's got a good, decent margin already in 2 laps, 2.7 seconds. But I imagine if Kane Aston can clear these two cars battling for second in front of him, he'll have a great chance to start chasing after Ashley Davis out in front. He is line astern. There is James Cuthbertson, car 37, chasing after Rob Howard. As they come back down the back straight. And now it's side by side for second because Alex Osborne now finds Kane Aston to his inside. He's got to get Sean King, who will get the draft from Aston down towards Stowe Corner. Ashley Davies turns it in front, still about 3 seconds ahead. But looking at lap times, it was a 1:17 for Aston on that last lap to take the fastest lap of the race. Osborne was a 1:19.3. And Davies is the only driver in the field, it seems, who's on the similar sort of pace as Kane Aston at this point. But Kane really needs to clear this traffic, particularly now Jonathan Page. If he can do that, he can start to use the clear air to chase after Ashley Davies and start to bring down that gap. Here are Deeth and Colburn, who are now still deep into the bottom of the top 10. Deeth and Colburn coming across the line in what should be 12th and 13th. We've got Howard and Harrington side by side, also with Cuthbertson in the mix as well. And Aston was side by side, I think that was with Sean King down towards the right-hander. Guess for Craig Edgecombe, he's already caught the pack of Mini Melias. He's already up the inside of James Cuthbertson. And he's now going to try and keep picking his way through. He crossed the line in 15th position. But I imagine with the pace that he's got underneath him in that Libra car, he will keep on picking them off one by one. So Davis sweeps through the shot now. As Kane Aston has moved up into second place. So that is pass complete on Jonathan Page. Jonathan doing a fantastic job as he cocks a wheel into the right-hander at Chapel onto the back straight for the 4th time. Fastest lap of the race, as I mentioned, has gone to Craig Edgecombe, 1:17.310. It's 6/10, a whole 6/10 and change quicker than Kane Aston at this point. And Aston now hasn't got a drafting partner. He's now providing a tow to Jonathan Page. And Coburn Page dives up the inside. There's a huge lock-up as he went for the move on the inside at Stowe, but thought about it at the last minute and backed out of it and felt that wasn't going to come off. And Kane Aston must have had flashes of yesterday when he had Ben Colburn careering across the grass and clattering against the side of him. Aston now into second place. Now being intrigued to see what he can do now. He hasn't got a drafting partner, and now that he has clear air, because if he can pick his way through and start to reduce that lead gap, it might well start to work out for him. Keep an eye, of course, on that bright blue Libra car of Craig Edgecombe, yesterday's overall winner. He's made up 3 spots on that next lap. He's up from 15th to 12th. That's Cuthbertson with the headlight flash. I think he's trying to signal to a couple of cars around him. Let's not fight. Let's see if we can make some progress up the order. Edgecombe, of course, leads the way in the Libras by some margin. In the rest of that category, it's second place at the moment to Josh Evans and third place to Julian Proctor, having a much better race so far after he had problems in qualifying when his car stopped and then further issues in the race. Now, one car's picked his way really through the order is the Welshman Kieran McDonald, and here he goes up the inside of Jonathan Page, and Page is going to give him all the room he needs. Alex Osborne keeping a watching briefing for, as he will get the tow from both cars. Which way is he going to go? He'll either be in the tow of both McDonald or Page. He's chosen neither. He's going to go 3 abreast. It's now 4. No, make that 5 abreast down towards the back straight. Fantastic. And now look at that. Is that Rupert Deeth going past all of them? I think it might be. Down the inside, is it the 23 car? It is. It's Rupert Deeth. So Rupert Deeth has gone from quite literally 8th to, what's that, 2nd, 3rd place in 1 lap. That is absolutely sensational from Rupert Deeth. Fantastic. You can tell he's a former champion as well and a practical master of these cars. That new car which he was betting in at Crofts certainly has got some mumbo in a straight line, but he's picked off 4 cars in one move. They went 5 abreast down the back straight. Only in Mini Miglia racing will you see that kind of action. Rupert Deeth just sailed past all of them and said, "See you later, boys. I'm off to get 3rd place." He's brought Phil Bullen-Brown with him, so Bullen-Brown's up to 4th now. Davis still leads, but Aston was about 7/10 quicker than him on the last lap time by. And we've only had 7 minutes of racing. It's a 20-minute race for the Miglias. You can tell it's end of term for them. It's not the end of their season, because they still have the final rounds of their Winter Series to take place in a couple of weeks' time at Brands Hatch at the Formula Ford Festival that also shares the TCR UK season finale, so they are really going to put on a show here. If this is another taste of what we can expect at Brands Hatch, sign me up, because this is going to be amazing stuff. Lots of battles pairing off, and there is Craig Edgecombe, who's already got past Ben Colburn, up into 8th position now, and looking to try and pick up more places if he can. He might not end up winning this race, but he will at least, I think, could end up on the overall podium in the result, as Bullen-Brown looks to the inside of Rupert Deeth, gets the tow from the 23 down towards Stowe Corner. Likewise, a possible move on between McDonald and Page, but Page has the inside line. And I'll tell you what, if this is Jonathan Page's first weekend in Mini Melias, he really has taken to it, and it just shows that the skills in Mini 7s that you learn and 7S categories really does transfer into the Melias, because these cars might be a bit more powerful, got a bit more grip, they've got wider arches, slightly different setup to the Mini 7s that they race, but these cars, all the skills of racing in Mini are certainly very transferable amongst the rest of the field. Further back in the order, that's car 24, which is having a bit of a slightly more lonely race. That's Steve Yule, is the head of Josh Evans, who's second in the Mini Libras. More than Mini Libra cars taking their way through the final complex. This is, looks like Warburton, Norfolk and Harvey. They're scrapping over 24th place, and also at the moment they're also battling over 5th, 6th and 7th in Libras. Now we've lost Alex Osborne. Alex Osborne has not come through this time by. He's tumbled down the timing screen. Sadly, the green and purple car has not hit the timing line and finished the race. That's a shame, so he's out at this point. Here comes Jonathan, here comes Philball and Brown then, still side by side for second place. Aston has pulled away now, and he has managed to get the gap down to Ashley Davis in front. It's down to 1.8 seconds as Bull and Brown swept round the outside to take third from Rupert Death. More action going on. Harrington against Cuthbertson, also in there too is Mark Sims, and despite starting on the front row of the grid, it didn't quite work out. Looks like that's Rob Howard who's also smoking. Is he heading towards, I thought he was heading towards pit lane. There's a little bit of smoke coming from the mint green mini just at the back of this little group of cars, which is just behind Colin Peacock in number 7. Peacock in that point is actually in 12th position at the moment, in Miglia's 13th overall. And I should mention, meanwhile, the amazing Craig Edgecombe has set another new fastest lap of the race, and he's up to 6th overall. His next target is going to be this leading group of cars, which features Jonathan Page and Rupert Death and Phil Bull and Brown, and then his next task will be to catch up to both Kane Aston and Ashley Davis if he can manage it. There's the top two, there goes Davis, there goes Aston. Then you've got the next group of cars with Bull and Brown, Death, and there is Edgecombe with the bigger air filter sticking out the front of the bonnet there. You can see turning in. That's the runaway Libra category winner. And certainly if he does a full season next year, he might dominate the entire category. This is an example of what he might achieve next year, and I'm sure he'll want to get himself in for a full campaign. Down the back straight, you can see just the enhanced power and speed of that Libra car. Just drafts literally in a straight line past both Death and Bull and Brown. Bull and Brown actually had quite a battle trying to stay with Edgecombe and try and get the lead overall from him. This is almost deja vu from yesterday, but now he's got an added element of Rupert Death, who is trying to make it more difficult for him. They're going to be side by side, but Edgecombe does indeed go around the outside, take the racing line, and through he goes. Also making his way through now is Ben Colburn. He was on pole yesterday, but got caught up on that incident up at Stowe Corner between himself, Rupert Death, and Kane Aston. They make their way onto the pit straight one, lap 8, lap 9 now. 1 minute 20 to go on the clock, so still 9 minutes of Miglia action left for the regular season. These are the final rounds for their regular championship. Of course, the Winter Series carries on to Brands Hatch, as I mentioned. And these rounds also make up the second meeting of the Winter Series on top of that too. They turn their way out of Village and Loop Complex, through Chapel and onto the Hanger Straight once again, and Craig Edgecombe is going to try and use all the superior power of that Libra car to start to close in on the top two. It's 1.2 seconds in the lead gap between Ashley Davis and Kane Aston. Look at his lap time. The last lap for Craig Edgecombe was a 1:16.898. He was a full 6/10 quicker than Kane Aston, a full 8/10 quicker. Well, look at the last lap times. He was a full 1.1 seconds quicker actually than Aston. He was a full 1.4 seconds quicker than Ashley Davis. So Edgecombe really tearing it up in his leading Libra car, side by side between Cuthbertson and King. That is going to be for a spot in the top 10. King holds on for the time being. More dice as we see a bit more change. Oops, off the road's gone Lee Roberts. Straight into the gravel trap and almost kissing the tyres, but he's gone right towards the scene of the incident. And that car's going no further. He'll be deep in the gravel trap, and that is not getting out anytime soon, Sunshine. That's a shame, because he was running relatively decently. He was running around about sort of 15th or so, and he dropped back a little bit since his start towards the front of the field on the partially reversed grid. But shame for Lee Roberts to exit out of the race early. And now you can see that Craig Edgecombe is, you can see he's starting to reel in slowly but surely Kane Aston and Ashley Davis. And he's kind of bringing Rupert Death and Phil Bull and Brown with him. He's allowing to punch a hole in the air to give those two a real chance to come away. In fact, actually, so much so is he trying to aid them, or their pace has gone up a little more, that Death, Bull and Brown, Page and Ben Colburn all set personal best on the last time, and they were all lapping in the low to mid 1:17s. So good to see the pace is going up. That is someone else struggling. That is, I want to say for a second that was Jonathan Page. I'm not sure if it is. It might just be a back marker that's having to lift off and let the rest of the field go through. If it is, then that's good driving. There is yellow flag, double wave yellows down there. There's a Cuthbertson is waving to the cars behind. Don't overtake. There's double wave yellows. Careful into the braking zone. That's the reason why, because Lee Roberts' car is being pushed away by the marshals. Good work for the marshals and recovery teams to quickly be on the scene to tend to Lee's car. There's a live snatch going on. as we go to the last 6.5 minutes of the race. Now there's been a change for, right, well, 1 second, where's Kane Aston got to? Because it's now Ashley Davis in the lead. Cuthbert Edgecombe's up to 2nd place. Where's Kane Aston disappeared to? Kane Aston out of the race, or at least disappeared somewhere. He hasn't come through, I don't think. Let's look at the timing screen. Has he come through? He hasn't come through, so he stopped on circuit somewhere. There's Kane Aston. Aston out of the race, and that's a real shame. He was closing in on Ashley Davis, but it's a repeat of Croft in race number 2. He was in a potential position to challenge for the victory, and then mechanical issues forcing him to the sidelines. That's not the way he wants to end his 2023 regular Mini-Miglia season, but sadly, the number 11 car has let him down. You see just to the right of shot, Kane is walking away. He's pulled the car right off the road, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue, if at all, for the marshals, because it's way out of harm's way. So I imagine the double wave yellows will be just there for the time being, just to allow Kane to get himself in a safe place. Kane Aston, very sadly, out of the race in this final round of the Dunlop Mini-Miglias. Ashley Davis holds on to the lead by 0.3 of a second, but I'm certain it's probably a question of when rather than if that move is made, and Edgecombe will certainly try to push him as hard as he can all the way to the checkered flag. In fact, I'm certain that that move is going to be made. In fact, it has been made. There he is. Craig Edgecombe hits the front then, and now leads by a canter in Mini Libras and the race outright. And Craig Edgecombe in that bright blue Libra Mini is out to the front of the field. Now for the Miglia victory, might not be done here, because Ashley Davis has now got a rather feisty Rupert Death on his tail. He's got the toe down towards Stowe Corner. Davis tries to get the slipstream from Edgecombe, but in fact actually gives it to Death as Death dives out. He gets the slipstream from Edgecombe in front and into Stowe Corner. Rupert Death wiggling around on the brakes, but he manages to get the move stuck and up into the lead of the Miglia as he goes. Ashley Davis will try and come back at him on the exit if he can. He's going to try and work his way towards the complex at Vale and Club. Through the right-hander at the Double Apex at Club. Yeah, there it is, Craig Edgecombe, new race leader. He's now got 4 minutes to try and at least maintain that lead, if not try and pull away. He was getting some headaches by Phil Brown yesterday. I wonder if Rupert Death and co are going to be as equally as challenging at this point. Edgecombe is not, like yesterday, he's not being allowed to get away too far, because the Miglia drivers behind him are certainly giving quite a race here. He has got the power on the straights, but it's in the corners where the Miglias are just a little bit quicker. On the tighter, twistier sections is where they're able to stay with him, but on the straights you can see he's ever so slightly creeping away, edging away with the enhanced power of that Mini Libra car. Death now looks to the outside for the lead on Ashley Davis and the Miglias, looks around the outside and stays on the outside line. Davis tries to give him the run on the exit of the corner, but this now puts him on the inside for Vale. Bull and Brown sniffing around to have a look. They're still side by side for the lead of the Miglias. Now almost 3 abreast as Bull and Brown takes a look to the outside line. Death breaks that a little bit later, turns to the apex and takes the lead in Miglia's 2nd overall. Now, is there anything he can do possibly about Craig Edgecombe? Well, not if Ashley Davis can get back him on the inside line, which he's doing. Back to the inside they go. They're side by side. 3 minutes to go. This is typical Mini 7 racing, and they're at it again. Down towards the right-hander Abbey. Ashley Davis throws the blocks, says no to Phil Bull and Brown. Ben Colburn's in there, and is also Jonathan Page. There goes Kieran McDonald. But all this fighting is just allowing Craig Edgecombe to pull away here and just maintain that gap in front. Through the complex, they're side by side again. Ashley Davis gets back up the inside. He'll have the inside line for Chapel on towards the hangar straight. Death gets his nose in front just about, has the momentum through the right-hander. And there goes Ben Colburn up the inside to get 3rd place from Phil Bull and Brown. Bull and Brown takes P3. Jonathan Page is in there too. Imagine if Jonathan Page wins the Miglia category in his 2nd ever race in the higher formula. Here comes Davis, gets the toe on the outside line. Bull and Brown moves out from Colburn, gets the toe from Davis in front, and Colburn goes, right, my best form of attack is defence. Up the inside he goes, and almost makes a tag on the inside of Death. Death squirms his way up the inside at Stowe Corner. Davis runs out wide. They're all running out wide on the exit. There are 4 abreast again down towards the right-hander at Vale. Sort yourselves out, boys. This is mega stuff. Less than 2 minutes to go. 3 wide for the lead, and Colburn goes round the outside of all of them. Fantastic from Ben Colburn. Gets past all of them. He's hoodwinked all of them. He's hoodwinked Death and Davis and Bull and Brown and Jonathan Page. Magnificent from yesterday's pole sitter. Ben Colburn with another magnificent pass. That was almost as good as the 5 wide pass that Rupert Death made. Anything you can do, Sunshine, I can do just as well. Fantastic. So Ben Colburn goes to the lead now. It's second still for Ashley Davis, who is still side by side with Rupert Deeth. They haven't left each other alone just yet. Now they come back towards the complex. The rest of the field comes streaming through in their own little private battles. There is Craig Edgecombe, oblivious to what's going on behind. They're all over each other for third overall and second in Miglia's. Bullen Brown goes to the outside to make the move on Davis. Davis fights back, dives back up the inside into the right-hander. Page is all out of shape behind them as he tries to hold on to fourth in Miglia's. Now onto the back straight. This is where we'll have one large slipstream. And what's going to change here then? Colburn has the toe. Deeth is trying to close in on him. They're quite boxy little cars, these minis. So they'll punch quite a big hole in the air. And Deeth is coming. He's coming. He's getting get closer down towards Stoke Corner. Has a little look up the inside again. Davis throws caution to the wind and goes third around the outside of Bullen Brown and holds on for the time being. But can Bullen Brown make a move just like Colburn did and sweep it around the outside? Jonathan Page is keeping a watching brief there in fifth. Davis moves across, tries to take his regular racing line, holds on, a little deep there from Page as he tries to keep in touch with the top four. And out through the right-hander they go. Also trying to close in here and join in is Kieran McDonald. Fantastic for him. He's currently 6th in Miglia's, 7th overall. Now they start the last lap of the race. If anyone's going to win this race, they're going to have to pull the pin now and go for it. Deeth is going to have to go in full attack mode here, whereas Colburn will have to try and defend for his life. So Craig Edgecombe looks as though he's away and gone overall and in many Libras, but the Miglia fight is still up for grabs here as Rupert Deeth is just on the outside line trying to make the move. Can he get the switch back on the exit through the village? He's not close enough to pull himself alongside, but he's close enough to get a really strong toe down the hanger straight. This is where he wants to be. He turns in through the right-hander at Chapel. Little second bite at the apex there for Colburn, but Deeth is right there. He's exactly where he needs to be to get the toe down towards Stoke Corner. They will be side by side for the lead here. There goes Edgecombe, but for the lead now for Miglia's. Here comes Rupert Deeth. Side by side now. It's Colburn on the inside, Deeth on the outside. They're wheel to wheel down towards it, and Deeth with pure straight line pace takes the lead down towards Stoke Corner before they even hit the brakes and turn in. Colburn will try and get him back here. It's also side by side for third in Miglia's between Bullen Brown and Ashley Davis. Bullen Brown goes round the outside and holds on. That'll give him trap position for the next corner, which is left at Vale. Colburn looks down the outside, has a little peek, but he can't quite squeeze through. It's going to have to be the run out of Club to make this work. Through the left, through the right for the first part of Club, through the second part of Club. Craig Edgecombe will win the race outright in Mini Libras, but up towards the checkered flag after a brilliant race once again for the Mini Miglias. Rupert Deeth picks up the Miglia victory, second overall. It's Ben Colburn second and Philip Bullen Brown in third. Ash Davies fourth, then Jonathan Page and Kieran McDonald round out the Miglia top six. Whew, that was superb mini racing at its finest once again. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mini 7 racing never ever disappoints. There is never ever such a thing as a dull Mini 7 race, because you get racing like that every single time they're out. And a big thank you to everyone at Mini 7 Club, to Colin Peacock and everyone else for being part of the timetable this weekend. We should obviously mention, of course, the Mini Libras. Of course, Craig Edgecombe wins that one. But the battle for second backwards, it's going to be Josh Evans that wins that one. This is the fight for third in Libras, and Julian Proctor ends his weekend with a silver lining, a third place in the category ahead of Richard Colburn. An excellent job from Richard that might well possibly help Colburn towards the Mini Libra title. But there is Craig Edgecombe. A fine drive from quite literally the back of the grid in less than 20 minutes to get himself to the front of the field. But that battle for the Miglias was certainly something else that was entertainment nonetheless. And it was that timing down the back straight. It was the timing that Rupert Deeth got. He was that close enough. He got to put himself in a great position to get the slipstream, to move past and to motor his way through towards Stoke Corner before they even touch the brakes and turn in. Despite Colburn's best efforts to try and get back through again, Rupert Deeth does indeed hold on and takes the Mini Miglia victory. A fine way for him to end the regular season for Mini 7 Racing Club, the Miglias and the Libras. We've still got the 7s and the 7Ss to come for their final rounds of 2023 before they head to their winter series at Brands Hatch. Here's the result. Craig Edgecombe wins overall and in Libras. Rupert Deeth makes a last lap pass to win in the Miglias ahead of the Ben Colburn and Phil Bullen Brown on the podium. Ashley Davis and Jonathan Page round out the Miglia top 5 ahead of Kieran McDonald, Damien Harrington, Rob Howard, James Cuthbertson, Colin Peacock and Sean King in the overall top 12. And then we scroll down to 13th downwards. Mark Sims from the front row of the grid back down to 13th. James Colburn picks up 14th from Nick Paddy. Josh Evans is second in Libras ahead of Tony LeMay. Julian Proctor picks up the final Libra podium ahead of Richard Colburn with Gary Warburton and Philip Harvey. And we lost from that race, sadly, Kane Aston pulling off with mechanical issues. We also lost Steve Yule and Ben Norfolk. And a couple more cars also pulled off the road too, one of which was Lee Roberts after he went skating off into the gravel at Vale. And Alex Osborne also pulled off the road with mechanical issues of his own. So that's the regular Mini Libra and Mini Miglia season finished. Of course, they've got their winter series at Brands Hatch to come. There's the top 3 overall, and hopefully in both categories pull in to the top of the pit lane for our podium presentations. It's going to hand down quickly to our presenter extraordinaire in pit lane, Rob Lewis, to take us through the first podium interviews of our final Sunday here at Silverstone.
Well, we've got an extended podium down here because, as once again Mr. Edgecombe has lined up the Mini Libra in the premium spots. He is our overall winner, winning the Mini Libra class as well. Rupert Death, after a fantastic race, takes out the Mini Miglia honours, and Ben Colburn slots into second. They're just getting Phil Bullen-Brown in, as well as the third overall in the Miglia class. And I think we're just going to see if we could grab a word. If I could just get you guys to pop over and stand with us on the BRSCC podium here. What a fantastic race. Yeah. 2 wins.
Yeah,
brilliant.
That couldn't come any better than that, could it? Started at the back today, drove through it, everything just went right again. So yeah, happy with that. It's a good result, good finish. Little bit of damage, but nothing too bad.
Circuit definitely suits the car.
Yes, I think it does with the long back straight. I think it certainly helps out a bit, but yeah, brilliant result. So I want to thank Edgy Racing for prepping the car and getting it all ready for me. Absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations. 2 overall wins, 2 wins in the Libra class. If we could just get Rupert Death over as the winner of the Miglias. He's taking his time. But Rupert, if we could just grab a word. Without damaging the furniture. There you go. He's got to get the number 1 in there. He's got to get the number 1 in there just in case. But if I get you to stand on the cross there, my friend.
On the hot spot.
You are on the hot spot. Certainly hot property out there in that race. A fantastic win for you in the Miglias.
Oh, yeah, no, really well deserved, I think. Good race, especially after yesterday, which was a little bit unfortunate. Unfortunately, that was a racing incident. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that this afternoon.
And yesterday, you all paid tribute to a dear friend, and yourself in particular had a lot to say about Peter. Would this be a race that you'd be proud to dedicate?
Absolutely, yeah. No, this one's for Peter. I hope he's up there watching, and I hope I've done him proud.
Fantastic. I can see you getting a bit emotional, but congratulations, Rupert. Congratulations on a fantastic Miglia win. Now, our second place driver in the Miglias and 3rd overall on the actual podium. I'm hoping to get a driver here somewhere. Ben Colburn, are you around? Come on over, Ben. Stand on the magic cross. It is quite awkward trying to round up these drivers after a brilliant race, because you just want to get out and talk about it, especially when it looks like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great race. That's what it's all about, and that's why we joined the Mini 7 Racing Club. And you know, the racing is second square, and like all clean racing, as we just shown there. So no, really pleased with it.
And a man of your credentials as well. I mean, you can see it on your race that you've raced in some fantastic series across the UK over the years. What brings you to mini racing?
I think this is actually probably the most competitive championship in the whole of the UK. We've had around about eight or something ex-champions, so to be on the podium is just a massive achievement, and just so close to getting my first Miglia outright win. But I mean, I got pole yesterday, so that was another tick off the list. So I'll just have to wait till next year for that win, but we'll keep trying. Keep working, keep ticking away. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, congratulations there on a fine podium, Ben Colburn, and hopefully we can grab Phil Bullen-Brown over to have a chat, but he's too busy getting his picture taken. Come on, Phil, come on. Stand on the cross there. You still need a box. You still need a box. Well, third overall in the Miglias. Great result once again after yesterday.
Yeah, dead chuffed with that. Really pleased, and really good, clean racing. It was fantastic. We thought they got away a bit, and me and Rupert worked together a bit, get them back. I think Craig coming through in the Libra helped us, to be fair, because it sort of gave us a little bit of a tow to get up there. So, yeah, I think just a cracking race. Great way to finish the year. Great doff of the hat to Peter. It's just been a fantastic year. Absolutely fantastic. A class act there, Phil. Congratulations on a wonderful podium. And that rounds out the Mini Miglias. We're going to see the Mini 7s out later on, and they will be just as action-packed. But I'll tell you what, Scott, it is great seeing these guys on the BRSCC package.